Timmy, breakfast.
Aw, Dad, cereal again? Can't we get something hot and different?
The next morning. Timmy, breakfast.
What's this? It's hot and tastes super sweet and sugary.
Well, that's Johnny P's cream of rice. Has your family tried it, Johnny P's? Oh, has your family tried it, Johnny P's? Oh, Johnny P's cream of rice so filled with sugar it tastes so nice. Oh, has your family tried it, Johnny P's? Johnny P's cream of rice. For now, only sold north of the Mason-Dixon at a fine food store near you. Johnny P's cream of rice.
And good evening, everybody. Golly, the gain was up on that one. Jesus. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the official, unofficial CWF Mid-Atlantic After Show. For this episode 131, which I'm calling Sharpie Steps Up. And boy, did he ever tonight. I can remember, well, we'll get to my thoughts here in a minute, but I can remember watching that match live and coming away from it going, that was definitely different, but different in a damn good way. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. I want to remind you, Ultimate Survivor comes your way this Saturday night, 7:30 bell time at the Mid-Atlantic Sportatorium in Gibsonville, North Carolina. Go to CWFtickets.com. and get your tickets now. They have VIP seats still available. I got spoiled sitting in the comfy chair last time I was down there in Gibsonville, so I had to buy VIP to go down there this Saturday night. And I get unlimited concessions too. So it's if you want to come see a fat guy sitting in the front row eating pizza, just come on down to Gibsonville this weekend. Oh man. You've already seen enough of my fat ass on camera tonight, didn't you? Jesus Christ, did I look horrible. I'm sitting there looking at myself going, am I just fat, or does the camera really add 10 pounds? I'll let you be the judge. One thing's for sure, I'm getting a haircut. that long hair just does not suit me. But anyway, I know that heading into Ultimate Survivor, they're going to air Ultimate Survivor in its entirety next week. So your very special Thanksgiving Eve after show will be on next week, and I'll explain why I'm staying on Wednesdays here in a moment. I went ahead and I went ahead and cleared some time for next week, so we will be on Wednesday night next week, live after the show airs. I believe it's going to be a 2-hour-long show, I think, if they're airing it in its entirety. So we will be here at probably 11:30 next week. So look forward to that. Another thing that's crazy is they got only one show after that between Ultimate Survivor and Battlecade, and that is on the 9th, I believe Grant told me this past weekend, on the 9th of December. So between that and you got the RGL tournament, they filmed a couple things at Jimmy Harris's show this past weekend. So the road to Battlecade is going to be very, very, very interesting to check out here as we go along. 2 hours from what Grant's saying in the chat room. So next week, 2 hours. So since we're going 2 hours next week, I guess I could come on at 11:30 next week. It'll be a late show. If you don't want to stay up late with me, that's okay. Check out the archive. Never mind that parade. Forget the parade. Or while you're watching the parade, you can have the parade on your TV. Just turn the sound down because Matt Lauer's commentary for it's already always boring. Watch the parade and listen to the after show. December 2nd, excuse me. I thought it was the 9th. It was December 2nd. Man, I don't know if I'll be able to make that show. Whew. I might be able to make that show. I don't know. I asked my girlfriend asked me the other day what I wanted for Christmas this year. I told her Battlecade tickets. She goes, "What?" I says, "Yeah, front row for Battlecade, please. Just give me a VIP ticket for Battlecade. It's $25. It's the best gift anybody can give me." To me. So that and the Battlecade ticket is what I've asked her for. So yeah, I firmly think that's going to be my Christmas present this year, which is awesome. So let's get into episode 131 here of CWF Worldwide. Again, I'm dubbing it Sharpie Steps Up. We open with the Sandwich Squad versus Big Mike Mars and Otto Schwanz. Otto has the headgear back on, and they make mention of that here during the commentary. Stutzy did here. There's already a Battlecade spoiler, if you will, out there. If you want to be spoiled as to who wins the RGL tournament and what the opening match, I believe it's the opening match. I think it's tradition that the RGL opens up Battlecade now. So if you want to know what the opening match to Battlecade's going to be, go to CWF's Twitter page. They spoiled it for you a couple days ago. I'm not going to do it here. The only thing I will say is, ha ha, ha ha ha, I was right. And then they're plugging Ultimate Survivor. Ultimate Survivor is also going to be airing on Thanksgiving Eve. Big Otto here. I got to tell you, man, I'm liking Otto Schwanz lately. It's like he seems reinvigorated. It's like I think this year, and I've said it before, and it goes without saying again here, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's just, they keep proving me right. As I'm adjusting all this crap on my desk here. They keep proving me right in that the first half of this year was all about the outsiders coming in. Was all about, you had Logan Easton Lareau, you had Alex Daniels, you had Chip Day coming in, and countless other quote-unquote outsiders coming in and getting a taste of what CWF Mid-Atlantic is like. And it seems like the latter half of the year, I want to say from the end of the Weaver Cup forward, or actually, excuse me, from Ultimate Survivor, not Ultimate Survivor, oh man. Absolute Justice, there we go. Joe will get it right eventually tonight, folks. Absolute Justice forward, the hardcore CWF Mid-Atlantic roster has stepped up. And it's like, they were like, we're not going to let the outsiders outshine the core roster. And it's been showing. From Otto Schwanz stepping it up, to Kane Justice, to Ethan Alexander Sharp. Everybody, that core roster is stepping up in a big, big way. Mars, to me, I love me some Mike Mars, as you guys know. He had a really good showing in the Rumble. I've liked this guy since I very first saw him. He's just, to me, he has a presence about him. And I even said this to Stutzy after this event live. They were sitting around discussing him, and I was listening in, and I had to interject. I was like, Brad, he just has a presence about him, man. He just carries himself so well. And Brad agreed with me. There's something about Mike Mars that is just, he's going to be something. He's too small to really be a big man, I guess, booked like a monster. I mean, he could be booked as a monster. I mean, I guess wrestling has taught us this year that size really doesn't mean shit. But if you want to go in traditional wise, I look at it as Mike Mars is just, he's too small to be a flyer, and he's too big to really be a giant, if that makes any sense. But he's got something. This kid has I don't even know how old he is. The guy has potential, okay? And he just has something. Me as a fan, and me as somebody who pays very close attention to this product, I see something in this guy that, I'm not saying they have to hotshot him like a Kane Justice or whatever. Not that Kane was hotshotted, but I'll put it to you this way. I see something very good in Mike Mars, but they got to milk it. They got to build it slowly. They got to really let this guy get, they got to give him direction, I think. But I have written down here, I don't know why I wrote this down, but I'm like, Mike Mars and Eric Andrews. And I put 2 big old question marks next to this. Don't ask me why I was thinking this, and a lot of people are going to cock their heads to the side like a confused dog and be like, huh? Well, Lord, Joe's been hitting the sauce again. No, I haven't. But I was sitting there going, does he team up with Eric Andrews? Does he join that little faction? Does he go against Eric Andrews down the line, maybe as a babyface? Because I could totally see down the road. Right now, Mike Mars is a heel, but I could totally see him turning babyface. I'm curious to see what his character. I mean, he's not going to be the man from Mars, I hope. I mean, like, alien-wise, but I want to see how his promos are eventually. I want to see, and his promos are going to be very telling as to whether or not you can really play around with this guy creative-wise and maybe turn him babyface down the road. And I don't know. I wrote down Mars and Andrews for a reason. I don't know what that reason is yet, but it popped into those 2 names popped into my head when I saw him here on this episode of Worldwide. I don't know why. Again, but it's here on my pad here. Biggs, again, good facial expressions, and I put here Mike Mars does too. When those 2 were facing off each other in the ring, they were trading those wide-eyed, wild man looks at each other. Kind of reminds me of Robbie Walsh when he gets all hyped up. You know, it just reminded me of just 2 animals, 2 hungry animals. Pardon the pun. And I put here the Sandwich Squad again. It's crazy how a team like the Sandwich Squad can be so damn good together, but they're always improving, which is what you're supposed to do as professional wrestlers. You always have room for improvement. You never stop learning in the business. The day you stop learning in the business is the day you need to get out of the business. But at least that's what we said in truck driving. When I drove a truck for a living, you never stop learning. But I like here how I put here the Sandwich Squad keeps improving their double team moves. I wish they would do more double teaming, but it is what it is. They're improving. They're getting there. Mike Mars, at one point he was smacking his own head before he headbutted some, I believe it was Biggs, and I was like, man, there's little things like that just make me notice you. I mean, it's little crap like that everybody shrugs off that I mark out over, man. It's just little idiosyncrasies like that make me look at you and go, okay, I noticed you. I'm going to put that, I'm going to, it's stupid stuff to everybody else, but to me, that's something that I look at, and that's something I go, that's you developing your own character, because you can't write that unless they explicitly tell you to do it, and half the time when they explicitly tell you to do it, it comes off that way. But, smacking his head before the headbutt was just, it was awesome. It's really good storytelling. It's good acting, if you will. Really good getting, really good character build. Otto Schwann's here. I want to talk about Otto Schwann's agility. There's one point, I believe it was him and Mecca. I had to go back and rewatch, but he's got one member of the Sandwich Squad in the corner. He runs to the opposite corner, and he almost does like the classic, a dozen wrestlers do it. I can't name one, but where they kind of kick off the other turnbuckle, like they vault off the turnbuckle and go charging back into the other direction. That's not something I thought I would ever see Otto do, but he did it here. And Otto, for those who are listening to this, who are not familiar with Otto Schwann's, you need to get familiar, because the guy just keeps surprising me every time I see him. And he's been in it a long time too. He's a veteran of the business. I put here, Sportatorium looks different. I don't know whether it was the lighting. I don't know whether it was because there weren't that many people there. Mike Mars is legit awesome. Yes, he is, Jason. I don't know what it is. Again, I don't know what it is about him, but he's got something there. I wouldn't say it's an it factor just yet, but I will say the potential for him to have it is there. The Sportatorium, though, looked different to me. I don't know whether it was lit differently. It looked brighter. It didn't look as dark. I don't know whether they did something to the ring lights or what, but I don't know whether they were. I don't know what was going on, but it looked brighter to me than it did, than usual. Mars at one point hitting the match had a good flying knee, that Triple H flying knee that Triple H used to do. Mike Mars did it, and he did it very well here. Mecca big splashes, hits a clothesline. They put over the fact that Mike Mars really didn't leave it. I don't think he left his feet at all during the match, and that's the way this man needs to be booked going forward. I tell you right now, they did a good job of putting over the fact that they did not. Hold on, give me 1 second here, guys. Okay, they put over the fact that Mike Mars just did not leave his feet, even when they clotheslined him over the rope to the outside. He didn't leave his feet then either. It was really good. That's the way this big man needs to be booked. I like the fact that there was one spot in the match where Biggs chopped the hell out of Otto, and Otto no-sold it. He just flexed. It made me laugh. I remember it made me laugh sitting there live, too. I was like, oh, shit. He just no-sold Biggs' chop. We get the Black Forest Slam on Otto Schwann's. He goes for the flatbread elbow. But no, as he's going for the flatbread elbow, the coach comes out, because Otto still has that ties into the coach. And the coach loads up the headgear. Otto gives him a headbutt with the loaded headgear. And Mike Mars gets the win, and thus getting the upset victory for him and Otto over the Sandwich Squad. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. It came off just as much of an upset live as it did on tape. I mean, that crowd was literally like, oh, wow, that's something, especially when they let Mars get the pin like that. We go in the back, and we're with Team All-Stars, or Team Jerry Carey. They're putting over the fact that him and CL Party, those two teams are going at it. And again, that comes to you this Saturday from the Mid-Atlantic Sportatorium. He says he's got Mace Lee. He's got Eric Royal. Otto Schwanz comes in after his match, so Otto is now added to the team. Jerry Carey says he's going to be on the team, and he's got a special pair of to kick CL Party right in the face, and the Jumpman imprint is going to be left on her forehead. And then they mention Jerry Carey may have loaded the headgear. I didn't even see Jerry Carey out there. I'll be honest with you. When I'm watching these shows, I'm taking notes at the same time. So forgive me if I got that wrong. It may have been Jerry Carey loading up the headgear, but Coach was out there too. So they announced that the fifth member of the team is going to be Roy Wilkins. So right now, Team Jerry Carey, or Team All-Stars, if you will, we'll say it's Team Jerry Carey, Mace Lee, Eric Royal, Otto Schwanz, Jerry Carey himself for the fourth one, and Roy Wilkins for the fifth one. So apparently that's a pretty crazy team, man. You know, we interviewed Jerry Carey back at FanCon, and I believe I asked him in that interview if there was any plans for him to get in the ring and actually wrestle, and he said, we'll see. So looks like we are going to see, and it's coming sooner than maybe he thought. We then had Jesse Adler coming out for his U.S. title. Jesus Christ. Television title. Still recovering from my Comcast nightmare experience. I'll tell you about that here in a minute. So, thanks to Bruce Mitchell. Shout out to Bruce Mitchell. Stutzy's asking who wants to pick from the bucket, and Bruce points to me and is shouting for me to pick the name. So, of course, Stutzy picks me. So my fat ass waddles up there to be on camera, I guess. And Eric Andrews interrupts. Here's what's crazy about this gimmick. He spent some money on it. Somebody spent money on it. He didn't get those bumper stickers and flyers and buttons made for free. If he did, he's kudos to you, Andrews. But somebody actually spent some money here. And it makes the gimmick that much better. It makes it, I know it's not supposed to come off that way, but it makes it funnier. It makes it, and what they proved tonight is eventually Eric is just going to snap, which was all. I mean, just him taking the deep breaths and counting in his head. It's just calming himself down. It was epic. Eric Andrews interrupts here. He's clean shaven. He's got a dress shirt and tie on. He's speaking different. If you go back and watch those promos that he cut when he was TV champion and watch the way he's talking now, it's like a totally different person, and it's so well done. Let that sink in for a minute. It's Eric Andrews. It's just, you even go back and listen to him with the interview that I did on FanCon, and then go back and watch this. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, for real. It's so well done. He's speaking differently. His mannerisms are different. His facial expressions are different. Granted, shaving the beard and mustache off has a lot to do with the facial expressions. It's just different. I put here my notes again this week. He looks like Don Callis from like the Truth Commission days, or from ECW even. He kind of reminds me of old Cyrus there with the long ponytail and the smile and everything. That's what I get when I see him. But this character of Choose Andrews, and Bruce Mitchell on Twitter going, it's not a campaign when it's randomly picked from a bucket. And I'm just like, oh, well, Choose Andrews. I'll put it to you this way, folks. The girlfriend was not happy when she went out to the car and saw the bumper sticker on it. So now, everywhere my girlfriend goes, whoever's following her, is going to see Andrews for TV champ on the back of the car. That's the most brilliant thing ever. But Andrews is coming out. He's saying he's sorry to people. I'm sorry for what I did. Forgive me for what I did for the last year, folks. He's passing out buttons. Andrews is, finally I end up picking the Dirty Daddy's name out of the bucket. And Andrews is looking mad. He's taking deep breaths. They remind him once again that you caused this. You're the reason why this rule is now in place. And there's no rematch, so if you want your rematch, it has to, be done the legit way. And Andrew said, and the Dirty Daddy comes out, and Andrew says, that's fine. I'm going to go watch this match, and good luck. And about 10 seconds into the match, Andrew starts a CWF chant. And I went up to Andrews after this match, or after the event, and I was like, a little bit of behind the scenes here. I guess I'm not wrong for saying this. I was like, dude, I wanted more out of you out there. I wanted more crazy chants. I wanted you to be way over the top. And he's like, I didn't want to take away from the match. And my opinion on that is, yeah, you don't want to take away from the match, but the point of you being out there is to yuck it up and get this thing over, So, anyway. What's the number to call in? There is no number to call in. The Skype number has been disconnected for 2 reasons. 1, I can't afford it anymore. And 2, nobody called in for the 3 months that I had it up here anyway. So there is no number. But anyway, I will work on getting the number to call in. I'll get it back if you guys want to call in and chat. I mean, I'll pop myself on Skype if you want to add me on there. If you want to add me on Skype here, I'll fire up the Skype machine. You can't dial in on it. You got to add me. Let me see here. There we go. It's Tons of Fun WCW. It's TONSOFFUN WCW. If you want to add me and call in, you can, but you got to add me on Skype. So, yeah. I don't have the phone number anymore. I'm sorry. But anyway, I just like this. Getting back to Andrews here, I like it. I like the way it's going. It's going to come off of him being a sniveling little weasel heel who's trying to weasel himself back into it and try to get back into people's good graces, but it's failing. And the whole choose Andrews and make America, and then that's why America's great. And it's I like it. I really did like it. It's different. It's different, and that's what's so awesome about this, is that it's different. It's a complete 180 from what Eric Andrews really is. So, Adler versus Dirty Daddy, I put here good wrestling. It was a very good match, very quick paced. It was very, very good. These two go into a draw. I highly recommend you go out there and watch it. It was really good live. Commentary was really good for this, getting over Dirty Daddy's character. Again, going back to what we were talking about at FanCon with that panel, I believe it was on the Q&A with Stutzy and Grant. A lot of the Dirty Daddy character is hinged on watching Worldwide and watching commentary, or even keeping up with it on social media when people like me and all the other CWF family are talking about it. Because if you were just walking in the Sportatorium for the first time, you're going to see a guy coming out there in sunglasses and wrestling tights dancing around and calls himself the Dirty Daddy. But the commentary just had so much more to it. They even give you a refresher here of his character. Talking about Daddy's many adventures in Mexico and how he collected a lot of masks over those masks versus hair matches. And Stutzy's quick to point out that most of the masks that Dirty Daddy brought back from Mexico have zippers over the mouths of them. I thought that was freaking. I remember me and Bruce Mitchell are sitting next to each other, listening to that, and we just start busting up laughing right there in front of him. It was just a really good call. We got the Super Monkey Flip by Adler and a top rope one-legged drop kick by Dirty Daddy here, reminiscent of RVD. It was almost like a top rope pump kick in a way. It was really good. They end up, the finishing spot is those two they're running towards each other. They collide with each other. The match goes to a 10-minute time limit. The Dirty Daddy wants 5 more minutes. And Andrews is like, yes, I want 5 more minutes, but rules are rules. And it's that's the way the cookie crumbles. That was the match. You don't get 5 more minutes. So he goes into the ring. And he shakes the Dirty Daddy's hand, says good match. He gives him the little bow, and he gives him a bumper sticker. And Adler, because he's the champ, he gets a bumper sticker and a button. And Adler sells this so well. I remember sitting here live and just cracking up. I'm half laughing, and the other half of me is looking at Bruce going, Bruce, he's selling this. Look at how Adler's selling this. He's selling it so well. He gets a photo op with Adler, and he tries to start a Jesse chant after all this, and he ends up sticking a Andrews for TV champ bumper sticker on the entranceway of the Sportatorium, right where the big CWF Mid-Atlantic logo used to hang. So there, really good segment from the time Adler came out until the time they cut to the commentators and they're like, what the hell was that? What did we just witness? Really good segment, really good match. That's what it's stuff like this is what makes CWF just so good. It's good storytelling, really good storytelling. And you got told multiple stories here. I wouldn't mind seeing Dirty Daddy and Jesse Adler going at it again. Going at it again maybe down the road. It was really good. And then we had a Faye Jackson promo. We're in the back. Actually, excuse me. Before that, we're in the back with CL Party's team. She's there with the Sandwich Squad. She's there with Snooty Fox. She says the team needs a little bit of girl power. So you have CL Party, 2 members of the Sandwich Squad, and Snooty Fox. It's 4 people. Says the team needs a little bit of girl power, because they're hungry, but they need a little bit of girl power. And they say that Faye Jackson is going to be debuting at the Sportatorium. And I love how it's Mecha Mercenary is the one going crazy over I don't know if this was by design, but I'll say it. The one white dude in the promo is the one going gaga over Faye Jackson. It was beautiful. It was awesome. I loved it. And then we cut to a Faye Jackson promo. She says her milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. And this is where the promo kind of veered off for me because I didn't like the fact, the bad guys, the milkshake gives them diarrhea, and they're gonna be straight shitting all over the place, even though they bleeped it out. And I'm just like, okay, you had me until you mentioned the poopy jokes. Granted, this was cut 5 minutes off the cuff off of her cell phone, and she probably sent it to Grant and said, "Here, throw that in." How's that? And you know what? Kudos to them for even trying. Kudos to her. Kudos to CWF for at least trying to give you a taste of what to expect. But it just, it was a good try. The first half of the promo was good. The second half of it, meh. But I'm excited to see Faye Jackson this Saturday. It'll be my first time actually seeing her live, so I'm excited to see her and see her live and just to see that match. To see that match now, it's going to be great. I think it's really going to be, it's going to be awesome. While we're here, I mentioned something on Twitter the other day about talking about Ultimate Survivor, and we'll run down the card here later, but what if CL Party loses this match? Her team loses this match. What if she loses this match? And Jerry Carey is the host of Worldwide now. I'm not saying it's a permanent change, but it got my creative head spinning. Yeah, I know. Hence the smoke. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm going, if she loses, they could really run with this. And a lot of people are going, no, Joe, when I explain this, a lot of people are going to go, Joe, this sounds like something Russo would do. This is really much too gaga-ish. To me, it reminds me of something you would see on Glow back in the 80s. So the Russo bit, if it was Russo, he'd have CL Party half naked and, Anyway, you know how Russo booked shit. But I'm sitting there thinking, what if CL Party, what if we see her in the back one time and there's a promo going on and she's in the back? Very, very, just in the background, hanging out, pushing a mop, mopping up the locker room. And, it's the promo's over, and let's say it's even Jerry Carey or the coach, mopping along and or interviewing somebody, and she's back there mopping along, and after the promo, whoever they're interviewing walks off, and as the interviewer walks off, they look back at CL and go, "Hey, you missed a spot," and she's just sitting there giving the look, that mean-ass look like, really? And we cut to black. A couple weeks later, tag matches going on or whatever, or two guys are coming back to the locker room for tag matches. CL's there, like, gathering up a bunch of towels or something. They just casually throw their towels on top of CL Party and start, hey, even if it's just baby faces, the baby faces are now starting, she's just a locker room, the cleanup person. And the fans can see that as, hey, they're, CL is there. Come on, guys. Goes a couple more weeks, and now CL's at the concession stand, and, a fan comes up for another Coke, and she's like, "Yeah, I'll be happy to get that for you, sir. It's, it's your fifth one tonight, Hey, all right, enjoy that third slice of pizza." And maybe she's, goes on for a couple more weeks. And I even pitched this to her and Grant this past Sunday. I was like, what if they film a guy coming up to get like his third Coke of the evening, and she turns her back on the fan, but we stay in a frontal shot of her getting the Coke, and her back is to the fan, so the fan can't see what she's doing with this can of Coke, and she just lightly shakes it up a little. And then the fan is like, "Oh, thank you, it's so hot in here tonight," and he opens it, and it goes everywhere all over himself. And I'm sitting there going, logically, okay, not only does that piss the fan off, and she's dabbing him, people coming in, dabbing him with the other concession stand girls are dabbing him with napkins or whatever. But now the trainees got to come and clean up the spilled Coke, so they're pissed off at her. But she's got like a half smile, half I'm sorry. And it builds up to her finally sitting there going, you know what? How many Cokes do you fat hillbillies need in one night? I'm surprised you don't have sugar diabetes. And maybe she, points to a guy in the audience. Look, he's so fat and drinking Coke, he ought to be in a diabetic coma by now. And it leads to us like a CL Party heel turn of sorts. Now, the thing is, I think that would be freaking amazing. I don't see them going that route, though. I just don't. I don't see that audience. That audience is so tried and true to her. I don't think they will have it. But from an entertainment standpoint and a storyline standpoint, it makes sense for her to lose. And it only makes sense for her to lose if that's the route you're going to end up taking. Unless you do the whole damsel in distress bit down the road where she, the Cinderella finally finds the Prince Charming and he puts the glass slipper back on her foot and that's it, That could work too. But it makes sense here for a team that has nothing to lose. It makes sense for, in Team Jerry Carey, they have nothing to lose. So it makes sense that they be the ones to win. CL has everything to lose. It makes sense that she should lose it. And after the Rumble, after the Rumble, the All-Stars need a win. That's just the way my stupid Mark booking goes. The All-Stars need a win. It's not a win that, and no offense to CL Party, because rule number 1 here, we must always put over CL Party. Shout out to CL Party. But no disrespect to CL Party, but it's not like, this win tramples any of the other top baby faces in the company. If this happens, it's a way for the All-Stars to go ahead and get their heat back after the Rumble. It's a way to get a new dimension of CL Party, because I love CL Party and her interviewing style and her facial expressions and everything like that. So it's a way to get a little bit more of that in. I'm just saying it could work. I'm just the AfterShow host. What do I know? Trevor Lee comes out, and he's got an open challenge here. And it's accepted by Ethan Alexander Sharp after that awesome promo that we got. And, he's saying that you took it away from me. I'm going to take something away from you. And Trevor's got his back turned to him the whole time. And Trevor's just totally dismissing him. He's pointing this is what you want, and shoving the belt in his face and all this. And you couldn't last 20 minutes with me. And finally they make the rule that, okay, if Sharpie lasts 20 minutes with you, he gets the belt. And we're off and running here. And it starts off with a kick to Sharpie right off the bat, The storyline of this match was Sharpie got very little offense, and I even wrote it down here. Sharpie's offense was basic. Trevor Lee is going for that wow factor. Sharpie, I put here several times, Sharpie is just taking beating after beating. He's constantly going to the ropes. Trevor is doing his classic spots where he's breaking the knuckles. He even does a spot with the toes. He does a bow and arrow at one point into a Mexican surfboard, and he doesn't slap the back of the person. He doesn't smack the ribs to get them to get their arms back. He takes his knuckles and he grinds into the ribs, which causes Sharp to reach his hands back and finally give those hands up to Trevor. The way Trevor worked over Sharpie at some points during this match, I felt like I was watching a Bryan Danielson Ring of Honor match back when he had the, I want to say like 2005, 2004 even, when he would work fingers and bend fingers back and just very technical stuff and would do that kind of shit, digging into the ribs. It reminded me very much of a Bryan Danielson Ring of Honor style from Trevor Lee tonight. And I remember I even said that to Bruce. I'm sitting there, sitting next to him there live. The Mexican surfboard, when he has him up in the Mexican surfboard and he bends the head back into his quads, I'm watching this upstairs out of the studio. I'm watching it on my big smart TV upstairs. And my girlfriend is sitting over on the other side of the room. She's half watching it and half talking to her mother on the phone. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting there taking notes, and all of a sudden, I hear her go, "Ew, look how much his ribs are sticking out." Like, she couldn't, she legitimately popped at how Ethan Alexander Sharp, she goes, "That skinny dude's ribs, man. Oh, my God." Like, how she legitimately popped at that. And I was like, they got her. They got you. That's what they're going for. Again, seeing a different Ethan Alexander Sharp, the commentary on this match, again, guys, this is why CWF commentary is the best. It's just the best because they get the characters over as well. They even reference how it's a different Ethan Alexander Sharp and how he's been doing a different offense. He's had a different attitude here. Even before the Rumble, he's been different. It's just so refreshing. It's so refreshing to get good commentary in wrestling here. I will say the feeling live on this match was a little, like I said, again, they're live, and even watching this on tape, it did come off different on tape as it did live. Live, it was like, okay, this is different. This is something special. It did come off that way on tape, but in my opinion, you had to be there. This is one of those matches where you had to be there too. It's perfectly fine to watch it on Worldwide, but for me, because I was there live and because I experienced it live, it just came off a little bit different in person, and that's not a bad thing at all. Sharpie ducks the penalty kick the first time on the outside, gets some offense in there. Aggressive work for a guy Ethan Alexander Sharp's size. I'm wondering, though, if that aggressive work and that more aggressive style is going to, carry him into next year. And really, I hope it does, man, because I'm enjoying, again, the latter half of the year. Ever since Absolute Justice, we've been seeing a different CWF roster, and it's so damn good. It's just the entire roster, the latter half of this year, have really stepped it up. Trevor, he finally has enough, and he starts smacking the shit out of him, and Sharp is in the ropes again. We get the knuckle break, only he does it to the toes, and they put over the fact how, oh my God, he dislocated Kane Justice's knee. Has he done something similar to Sharp? Very, very good here. They put a countdown clock on the bottom of the screen. Great touch by Grant to do that. It was really good. I know why they don't do that for the Rumble. It's just in case they do they don't work the clock, but also it's a pain in the ass, probably editing-wise, to have to do that every minute and 30 seconds for that Rumble. Finally get the penalty kick by Trevor Lee. Sharpie ends up, Trevor's up on the top rope after this. Sharp has the ref. He shoves the ref, basically the squabble with the referee leads to Trevor Lee crotching himself on the top rope with 30, this happened with 30 seconds left, and Sharpie's over there on the other side of the ring cheering, winding the clock down. It makes sense. Again, it makes sense for a heel to do this. Sharp setting up for the bus driver uppercut. Lee pretty much, I think, drop toe hold him into the STF, and he taps out with 5 seconds left. 19 minutes, 55 seconds was the official time there. So Sharpie makes his way to the back, and Lee is sitting there, and all of a sudden the lights go out. And I'll be honest with you guys, this popped me live. I did not expect this. I'm sitting right over there next to the commentary, so I don't see Cecil's hand on the light switch. So this caught me by surprise. The lights go out, and immediately up on the screen, we get the PWI champion, C.W. Anderson there. It could be yeah, you're right. And that's, even when Grant's in the chat room saying the clock could be too distracting, and WWE knows that too. That's why they put it up from time to time during the Iron Man matches and such. And plus WWE works their clock where CWF doesn't. But I like the fact that it was up for like the last minute or so of this minute and a half of this match. It was a very nice touch. basically we have the PWI champion talking about how he's a two-sport athlete and he's been in Japan and I'm better now than I was in ECW. Just a really good promo by CW Anderson here. Really good promo. And he wants to challenge, how about the PWI champ goes up against the CWF champ. And it was a little confusing to me, which now we know what's going to happen. But it was a little confusing to me there live, watching it live, whether or not they're going to do a singles match or whether or not they were going to do like a Survivor-style match. And apparently they're going with the Survivor-style match, which is okay. Depending on how that goes, to me, honestly, I want to see champion versus champion one-on-one with those two. Because I think it would be freaking amazing. And I just, it's different. Again, you know, it's really, really different. And as Johnny P put that night after they announced that, it's way, you know, it's like you think they're going one way, and then it's bam, left turn, sharp left turn. They were going to hand Trevor a microphone, but Trevor was kneeling down there at Grant with the camera, and it just came off so much better that he didn't grab the microphone and accept the challenge. He's talking directly into the camera like, I'm talking to you, CW. I'm talking to you since you want to appear via videotape on the Sawyertron. I'm talking to you, and it just was so good. And I put here good editing by Grant. I'm going to put Grant over for the editing because the audio from the promo was obviously directly from the pre-tape. So you get the raw audio of the pre-tape, which is what you needed because it's the best sound. But then they cut in shots of Trevor watching this on the screen while still having that original audio over it. And I was like, man, that's just... I know what a pain in the ass editing can be in video editing, especially when you have to manage sound like that. So it's just kudos to Grant for doing that, man. And I think you needed that shot of Trevor reacting to what he's seeing as he's seeing it and hearing it. You needed that in there, and it was just brilliantly done. So and Trev, you know, no microphone. He accepts the challenge. You know, he criticizes CW for being there via pre-tape, and it was just really good, a really good show. I told you guys this week and last week of Worldwide were going to be some damn good episodic television, and it has been. I'm excited that Ultimate Survivor is this Saturday. I'm excited that they're showing it in its entirety next week. I did not expect the CW Anderson thing. I remember sitting there live looking at it and just freaking on the inside, I was like, holy shit, this is, like Johnny P said, is a total left-hand turn. Just when you think we have the answers, they change the questions. So we got Faye Jackson making her Mid-Atlantic Sportatorium debut. And we got the Vanguard, Caprice Coleman and Darius Lockhart. They're returning on this Saturday. Get your tickets now at CWFtickets.com. Let's see, what else they got on the card here? It's Team Trevor Lee versus Team CW Anderson. And then they got the Team Jerry Carey versus Team CL Party. They have, I don't know what this means, guys, because I'm not a Lucha guy. Torino Cybernetico? The hell is that? Somebody's got to answer this for me. It's Torino Cybernetico. It's the Dirty Daddy and Jesse Adler captain a squad versus Stokely Hathaway's Dream Team this weekend, which is going to be freaking amazing. Team Captain Stokely Hathaway has already selected Kane Justice as the first pick for his team. Still don't know what a Torino Cybernetico is. I need to look this up now. What does this mean? Let's Google this. What does Google give you if you Google this? I wonder. But I'm curious to see who's going to be on the CW Anderson Trevor Lee teams. I was expecting, Kane to be on Team CW and maybe Nick Richards to be on Team Trev. But maybe we'll see that, we We do it every year. I know you do it every year, but I don't know what it means. Let me look this up here. According to Wikipedia, is a multi-man professional elimination match. Oh, it's lucha rules. Okay, the match format seems two teams of various sizes facing off against each other. Uses standard lucha libre tag rules, with elimination occurring pinfall, submission, disqualification, countout, and allows a wrestler to enter the match when their tag partner exits the ring, as well as when they tag out. If multiple members of the team survive, they must compete against one another. Wow. Okay. I don't think I can't tag a person of your choosing. It's just the next person on your team. Okay. That's crazy. I like that. Shakara. It goes history in the United States, and then you see Shakara. Of course you see Shakara. And then it just says history in the United Kingdom. Team order matters. Ooh. Gotta pay attention then. You gotta pay attention to this one. Got a feeling there's gonna be a lot of flippity-flappity-flippity-flu. But you need that. You need that with this kind of card, I think. But a lot of people asking me why I'm going to be back on Wednesdays. Here's the story. And I kind of ranted on this on the channel here earlier in the week, and I spoke a little bit about CWF as well, because I just felt the need. I woke up at 3:30 in the morning on a Friday/Saturday. I was just like, I got to go vent. I'm going to go cut a video and just vent. I was working with the company who is, who I was. I'm not going to mention them here. And I was going through their training program, and their training program states that, you cannot miss any time during training during this 5-week program. And so if you miss one day, you're fired. If you miss more than 2 hours of class, you're fired, is what the rule is. Well, at 8:30 Thursday morning, my internet went down. And it's kind of apropos, because last Wednesday during the after show, I was having internet issues. So it kind of made sense when I wake up and I'm going to log into work, and the internet my modem just starts restarting itself, over and over and over. It just starts, like, it would stay on, powered on for 20 minutes and then turn itself off. So obviously, I missed more than 2 hours of class, because then I had to sit there and I had to go downtown to the Comcast store and replace it. And that took about an hour, and then getting it home and getting it activated took about another hour, because it's not one of those plug-and-play deals. You have to actually, in this case, sometimes it works like that. It's supposed to work like that, but it's technology. So in this case, I had to call them. And I got a receipt from Comcast telling them that I swapped out the modem. It has date, time, what I did, everything on it. And that wasn't enough for them. So, yeah. Just when I think, and here it is, I'm 4.5 weeks getting ready to start the 5th week of training. You'd think they overlook it once I made it so far. Nope. They canned me. So, that was that. This year with me and jobs just has not mixed. Crazy thing is, I go online after, on Friday, and Friday/Saturday, and immediately start filling out job applications. So, and I did get a couple offers. In fact, I have an interview tomorrow with a company. So, for now, card subject to change, but for now, the after show staying on Wednesdays. So, I should have known something was up when Wednesday night, I hardly ever have issues. I think that Wednesday was the first time I really have had an internet issue with this, with the stream. And the modem wasn't resetting itself. It's just that I had crappy speed. And my bandwidth was shot because I got, at the last Wednesday I had 3 kids, using iPhones, iPads, laptops, and I had my girlfriend using her computer plus her phone or whatever, and my phone was connected. And even when you're hardwired in, bandwidth still exists. That bandwidth is still shared. So I was basically overstretching my bandwidth. That combined with the fact that the modem was getting on its last leg, it died on me. So I ended up going around the middleman, and I actually applied to work at the local Comcast store directly because I already know the systems, I already know the products, I already know everything. Why work for a middleman, when I could, go straight to the source? So hopefully they'll get back to me. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I just know that the after show is staying on Wednesdays for now, thank God. So yeah, that's a little. Last week was just the last 4.5 weeks, man, and I think you guys could even tell here on the after show. My brain was mush. I know. What's my excuse for the other 10% of the time? But for that 4.5 weeks, it was just I was feeling it, and I guess everybody was seeing it too. But we're back on Wednesdays from here on out. Cards subject to change. So yeah, I will see you guys this Saturday at Ultimate Survivor. I cannot wait. I really can't wait for this one. This is a damn good card here. It's what they've released so far. I like the poster for this too. It's a good poster. It's got the Ultimate Survivor and the bullet casing having the XV because it's the 15th Ultimate Survivor. It's got the 2 tanks on either side, and it's got CL and Jerry Carey on there. It's really good. I like this poster. So yeah, Mid-Atlantic Sportatorium, 1001 Springwood Avenue, Gibsonville, North Carolina. 7:30 p.m. bell time. Go to CWFtickets.com to get your tickets. I believe VIP is still available. And the road to Battlecade is in full swing. And like I said, CWF Mid-Atlantic on their Twitter page, at CWF Mid-Atlantic, has already released one of their matches for Battlecade as a result of the upcoming Rising Generation League tournament. I won't spoil that for you here. If you want to be spoiled, you'll have to go to CWF Mid-Atlantic on Twitter. Let me see here. I did manage. Me and Grant were talking at the Jimmy Harris show. I did manage to go see Thor Ragnarok. I believe it was Monday night. Damn good movie. It's probably the best comedy of the year, but it's the best Thor movie. And a lot of people go, superhero movie, comedy? Yes, and it's awesome. Really good action sequences during it as well. I like the fact that I like the Hulk. The Hulk stole the show in this. Valkyrie stole the show. The whole movie's awesome. It's another DC, me and Grant were sitting there going, it's another MCU movie that is just, you've come accustomed to them being so good. The Justice League reviews, I'm going to talk a little bit of comics here. The Justice League reviews have been very mixed. A lot of 7.5 and 6.5 out of 10s. Grace Randolph on her YouTube page had, I believe, more bad than good to say about it. And then the hits just keep on coming because we got a new Deadpool. We got like a teaser trailer from Deadpool today. Anybody seen that? That making fun of Bob Ross. It was just so freaking funny. That was just freaking awesome. If you haven't seen it, you need to. But anyway, that's my little rant about movies here. I got to tell you guys, I'll be honest, I'm glad the after show's staying on Wednesdays because I was not looking forward to it being on Thursday mornings. I really wasn't. But that's going to wrap it up here for me. If you guys have any questions for me or if you have anything that you want read on the after show, email it to me at pillartopost1650@yahoo.com or drop me a line on Twitter at JoePillarToPost. Leave a comment below, and I'll be sure to read them next time. We want to hear from you. We always like hearing from you. And if you're listening to us on the archive, we are here almost each and every Wednesday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on the same channel at youtube.com/c/from pillow to post, or just look up CWF AfterShow, and usually I'll pop up there. Want to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and share. I do not mind you guys sharing my product out there and my after show out there. I kind of opened up a can of worms today when I mentioned so many people are doing podcasts now, and that the market's being flooded. It's been flooded for, golly, 10 years now. I wouldn't go that far. I'd say about 5 years now. Everybody and their mother's got a podcast now, so the fact that you guys take time out of your day to listen to mine, it's just awesome, and I thank you guys so much. And we will see you at the Sportatorium.